Now, the NSE All-Share Index is up just over 7% in the month of April. As we conclude the last trading day of the month, Ebunoluwa Babarinde, Manager, Treasury and Financial Institutions at Financial Derivatives, joins me for a recap of trading activities this month. Ebun, glad to have you join us on Closing Bell West Africa. Could you give us your assessment of the summative performance of Nigeria's equities markets for the month of April?
Okay, thank you very much for having me. In the month of April, we are seeing the market gain. This last week of April, we've seen that the market had gained consecutively for the last 3 days, and then today also closed on a positive note with a gain of 0.67% with a 4,739 deals, like you said. And then we're seeing on the top gainers list, we're seeing MTN, Adova, WAPCO, Access, International Brewery. For the 52-week return is still negative, but improved slightly at 21.05%. And the year-to-date return also increased to 14.48%. And also on the decliners, which you saw in Nigerian Brewery, Zenith Bank, Boston, GT Bank, and Guinness. And we can say that activities are actually on the impressive side. We have seen that in the month of April, there was a massive decline in some shares, especially for the bellwether stocks in the banking sector. And then we now saw that as the month is closing out, we're seeing that activities are still on the top tier. For this week, we can see that top trades were mostly banks, but all of banks, Access Bank, First Bank Holdings, GT Bank, SCNB, and Zenith Bank. And we can attribute this to the fact that in the weeks prior to now, we saw that foreign portfolio investors were making efforts to exit the market due to the fall in oil prices, knowing that Nigerians' main income stream was from sale of crude oil. But some of our local investors have cashed in on this in the fall in prices, and they've been increased activities. We saw that the week prior to now, we saw that GT Bank that had lost value to about 18 naira, by the time it was closing today, was around regions of 21 naira. So we can see that there's a lot of activities going on the bank shares. And then even MTN, we can see that there's a lot of activities also. We saw that MTN gained significantly today. And from the recent release of their results, we were informed that the increase in their performance from their Q1 results showed that they have been able to increase revenue from voice and data usage. And so their PBT also increased for the first quarter results that was released recently. So we can see that from activities, we're seeing that due to the season we are, impacts of the COVID-19 and fall in oil prices, some companies have it very good, foreign activities on their share prices, and some are not having it so good. For instance, Nigerian breweries, we know that due to the COVID-19, social gatherings have been put on hold, and so definitely social gatherings are put on hold. Gatherings that warrant customers buying their products are already on the lower side.
Now, Ebun, without doubt, April has been a defining month, especially for Nigeria in its war against the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, despite what should be amidst the macroeconomic headwinds that the market has had to deal with, have there been sectors that have been particularly exciting in the month of April?
Sectors that have been particularly exciting in the month of April, like I said, the banking sector. We have seen it gain so much, and we're also seeing it lose due to the fact that there are increased activities. We can also say that the industrial sector, you can see that, for instance, in Nigeria, the federal government has to approve, the National Assembly has to approve 850 billion loan to fund the budget. And for them to be funding the budget means that developmental activities in terms of construction will have slowed down. So we're seeing that somehow we're having a bit of mix, but we're seeing some upticks. Hello?
Now, Ebun, as Nigeria moves to a gradual easing of the lockdown, how do you reckon this might impact the stock markets?
With the easing of the lockdown, we will see increased activity. I'm sorry that I'm honoring, but of course the banking sector will open and then easing of payments. We have seen that in the in this last week, in this current week that's winding down, there has been system liquidity has been affected somehow, and interest rates have been has been very low because system liquidity, there was so much system liquidity. But with the fact that the lockdown will be eased out now, we begin to see increased activity in that sector. We begin to see more debt issued. We begin to see impact of inflows from the IMF loan, and so begin to see that trading activities, especially for essential goods, health sector, food sector, we begin to see a buoyancy in these sectors, and this should be enough to kickstart the economy to a point. But we're just hoping that we will not have increased cases, because if after the ease of the lockdown we're having more cases, more deaths, then the federal government and the respective state governments may have to look at the board again and see how the pandemic can be contained within the borders of the country. So somehow we can be optimistic, but of course it's dependent on to what extent the pandemic spread can be curbed.